They won't give you a heads up before they betray you. They'll smile, shake your hand, and wait for the perfect moment to strike. And the second you seem exposed, they move. In today's world, how you appear is often more dangerous than what's actually happening. You don't need to be falling apart for someone to want to break you. You just have to look breakable. Machiavelli didn't survive by being invincible. He survived by making others believe he was untouchable. If you want to hold power, you've got to understand this. Never bleed in front of wolves. Even if you're crumbling inside, you make them think you're ready to fight to the death. People don't come for you because you're weak. They come for you because you seem weak. Machiavelli wasn't warning you about enemies, he was warning you about appearances. That's where the game begins. If you want to become untouchable, the first thing you need to kill is the illusion of vulnerability. The world doesn't care how much you're hurting. It cares about how you carry that pain. You might be bleeding on the inside, but if they see it, they'll use it. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." That's not just a quote. It's a blueprint. You've got to master the image, the appearance of strength, even when you're held together by threads. No public breakdowns. No sob stories on social media. No venting to people who don't need to know. Suffer in silence. Because every moment of visible weakness is a window, and someone, somewhere, is peeking through it, calculating their move. Next, talk less. Watch more. The more you speak, the more you give away. Every sentence is a weapon in someone else's hands if you're not careful. But if no one knows what's going on in your head, they start to fear what might be there. That's unpredictability. And unpredictability is power. Machiavelli believed the ones who last are not always the strongest. They're the ones who can't be read. The ones who stay silent and let others guess. Detach emotion from your decisions. Emotion is how people get caught in traps. Emotional people make dumb moves, apologize, backpedal, regret. You won't be one of them. You don't ask, "How do I feel?" You ask, "What does this do?" Being nice won't protect you. Being strategic will. Drop the need to be liked. If your self-worth depends on other people's approval, you're easy to control. Machiavelli famously said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." So don't beg for likes. Command respect. People obey what they fear disappointing, but they manipulate what they think won't bite back. And here's the kicker. Cut off anyone who wants too much access to you. Access is power. The more someone can reach you, the easier it is for them to map your patterns, emotions, and weaknesses. Control your availability like a castle guards its gates. Be warm, but distant. Present, but hard to hold onto. Let people see your shadow more than your face. The truly untouchable aren't overexposed. They're whispered about. They're legends. Vulnerability, even if it's just an illusion, is an invitation for someone to test you. But if they can't see where to strike, if you're like a mirror they can't read, or a storm they can't predict, they hesitate. And that hesitation, that's your opening. That's where the game flips. Because power is perception, not truth, not facts, just what people think is true. Most people are too lazy to look beneath the surface, so the surface is what you master. That's where control is born. Craft your image like a weapon. Be seen only in the light you choose. Want respect. Appear cold and competent. Want fear. Let your silence feel like a loaded gun. Every movement, every word, every glance. It has to serve a purpose. No unnecessary details. Your power is in being unreadable. The second they figure you out, they start looking for weak spots. Testing you. Poking at your edges. So you leave gaps. You leave mystery. Let them wonder. Let them worry. Let them guess what you'll do next. Fear grows in shadows. Machiavelli said it plainly. Men are driven by appearances more than reality. So use that. If you're struggling, look calm. If you're unsure, act decisive. If you're planning revenge, smile like a friend. Master deception, not out of cruelty, but because survival demands it. You don't have to lie. You just don't have to show your hand. Because in a world where perception defines your value, reality is background noise. You can be brilliant, but if your image looks foolish, you'll be treated like a joke. You can be cracked inside, but if you present like a storm, you'll be respected like a god. The untouchable don't beg to be understood. They don't cry to be seen for who they really are. They design who the world sees. And that version, it's untouchable. Their words, their walk, their posture, it's all intentional. You're no longer just a person. You're a presence. Presence makes people hesitate, and hesitation is power. Perception is either a leash or a sword. Control it, and you become the one holding the blade. Lose control, and you become the one bleeding. So here's the new rule. Build your image like a fortress. Hide your weaknesses behind silence. Mask your intent with composure. Every version of you they meet should make them think twice about crossing you. Because once they believe you can't be touched, they'll stop trying. And that's where power begins. Loyalty sounds noble, right? But here's the uncomfortable truth. Loyalty is just another form of control. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. People aren't loyal to you, they're loyal to their interests. The moment you stop being useful to them, their loyalty evaporates. If you want to become untouchable, stop relying on loyalty. Rely on power. Stop building emotional connections that make you soft. Start building leverage. That's what keeps people in line. When someone only respects you because they like you, they'll flip the moment they stop liking you. But when they fear the cost of crossing you, that's when loyalty lasts, even if they despise you. Power makes people behave. Not sentiment. Not promises. Just leverage. Don't be fooled by sweet talk or years of history. Most betrayals come from those who've sat at your table the longest. They're not waiting for your success, they're waiting for your slip. So stay sharp. Be the one holding the rope, not the one dangling from it, praying someone doesn't let go. Machiavelli didn't put faith in relationships. He put faith in dynamics. Keep people close, but never close enough to compromise your control. Give just enough to make them depend on you, but never so much that you start depending on them. And if someone does something for you, repay them with strength, not with submission. Never grovel. Never owe too much. Because the one who can walk away is always in control. Always. Here's the brutal truth. Emotional attachment is the enemy of strategy. You can love people, but don't let love blind you. Stay alert. The real danger isn't your enemy, it's the one pretending to be your ally, waiting for the perfect moment to strike when your guard is down. If you want to be untouchable, stop building friendships. Build alliances. Alliances serve a purpose. They can shift, they can end, but they never leave you defenseless. Friendships, on the other hand, they lull you into vulnerability. They make you believe someone's got your back, until they don't. Machiavellian thinkers never promise forever. They believe in timing, in options, in control, and that's what keeps them undefeated. Blind loyalty is a weakness. Let others swear allegiance. Let them claim they'll never leave. Smile, nod, but quietly prepare for the day they do. When that day comes, you won't beg. You won't panic. You'll already have their replacement in place. You'll already be 10 moves ahead. That's power. That's control. That's being untouchable. See, people want to make you believe that hesitation means you're moral. That second guessing makes you good. No. In the game of power, Hesitation is a luxury you cannot afford. The moment you start feeling instead of thinking, your strategy collapses. Your enemies want you emotional, because emotion clouds judgment. Anger makes you reckless. Sadness makes you slow. Guilt makes you weak. Machiavelli understood this centuries before psychology gave it fancy names. He didn't romanticize revenge. He calculated it. He didn't act out of pain. He acted out of necessity. The untouchable? They strike only when it guarantees control. Never to feel better. Only to win. When you let emotion lead, you overreact. You act before you're ready. And you expose yourself. But when you detach, when you become calm and surgical, every move becomes a silent checkmate. This doesn't mean you have to be heartless. Just focused. You don't bury your emotions. You command them. You use anger to fuel preparation, not outbursts. You use betrayal to fuel silence and planning, not tears or threats. Let your enemy think they failed to shake you. That illusion weakens them. Imagine this. They strike, hoping to rattle you. But you don't flinch. You don't even blink. You smile. And behind that smile, you're already preparing your response. That doubt they start to feel, that's your weapon. Become the kind of person who can sit across from someone smiling while planning how to dismantle everything they're built. Not out of malice, but because mercy is wasted on people who try to destroy you. And when you strike, don't leave room for retaliation. No half measures. No warnings. No drama. Just results. Burn the bridge. Remove the piece from the table. Erase the option of return. They shouldn't fear what you might do. They should know what happens if they ever try again. This isn't about being loud. It's about psychological warfare. Make them irrelevant. Isolate them socially. Undermine their reputation. Disrupt their income. Shut down their access to influence. Make the fallout so complete they can't stand up without crawling through the ashes of what used to be their position. That's not cruelty. That's survival in a world where weakness is a welcome mat for predators. The untouchable don't play fair. They end the game. If someone tries to sabotage you, break the tools they used. If they lie about you, amplify the truth. Make it loud, undeniable, and dangerous for them. And if they try to steal what's yours, take it all. And then take what they wish they had. This isn't petty. This is permanent. Emotional people waver. They second guess. But the untouchable? They execute with precision and they don't look back. Machiavelli said, "A ruler must learn how to be both beast and man." The beast strikes without fear. The man decides when and how to strike. Together, that's what makes you unstoppable. Let your emotions exist, but under your command. Let your mind plan and your presence dominate. From now on, don't act in the heat of the moment. Wait, watch, and when it's time, act quietly, completely, and walk away like nothing happened. Let the silence speak. Let the aftermath echo. Don't explain. Don't defend. Don't ask for understanding. Just end the problem. Move forward. That's what power looks like. The untouchable never seek applause. They seek advantage. They don't get stuck on revenge. They focus on position. Every response is a chess move. And when it's over, they're still standing. Unbroken. Unreadable. Unmatched. Because while the enemy was chasing emotional closure, the untouchable secured control. That's how you win. There's a myth we need to destroy. That being untouchable means being lonely. No. Being untouchable means being free. Free from manipulation. Free from begging for respect. Free from fearing betrayal, because you've already accounted for it. Freedom doesn't come from being loved, it comes from being respected, even by those who hate you. And respect isn't born from kindness. It's born from consequence. When people know that crossing you has a cost, they behave. Not because they care about you, but because they fear what happens when they don't. Most people build safety through connection. You build safety through detachment. Because the more attached you are, the more leverage they have. They can guilt you. They can bait you. They can ruin you if you let them in too far. But when your peace comes from within, they can't touch it. They can't reach you. Imagine walking through life knowing that nobody can hold anything over your head. No secret, no favor, no emotional hook. Because you've already let go of needing their approval. That's the final evolution. When silence becomes your weapon. When solitude becomes your fortress. When your moves are invisible and your motives unreadable. You stop proving yourself. You stop chasing closure. You stop responding to every attack. Because now, you expect betrayal. You plan for chaos. And when it arrives, you don't panic. You execute. That's not being cold. That's being prepared. And when you live like that, when people sense that you've already faced your darkness, already burned your bridges, already walked through hell alone and came out silent, they start to think twice. Not because you threaten them, but because they know you've got nothing to lose. And that makes you the most dangerous kind of person. See, the world trains you to fear being alone, to crave validation, to stay predictable. But power lives in unpredictability. It lives in the man who could destroy you, but doesn't. In the woman who could expose everything, but chooses silence. In the mind that knows everything, and speaks nothing. That kind of control terrifies people. Because they know you're not emotional. You're strategic. You're measured. And worst of all, you're patient. You don't attack out of rage. You attack when it's effective. No wasted energy. No premature moves. Just clean, deliberate power. People don't understand this kind of strength, so they label it as cold or toxic. But it's not. It's clarity. It's self-mastery. The untouchable don't deny their emotions. They command them. They feel everything, but react to nothing. And that's what makes them unbreakable. So let them talk. Let them doubt you. Let them underestimate what silence really means. Because while they're watching your lips, you're watching the board. 10 moves ahead. Eyes calm. Mind cold. Heart still. And when the time comes, you won't warn them. You won't announce it. You'll just disappear from their reach. Or dismantle them so quietly they never even saw the hand that moved the knife. You don't need revenge. You need distance. You don't need loyalty. You need leverage. And you don't need anyone to believe in you. You just need them to know one thing. You are not the one to play with. Because when everything collapses, the untouchable doesn't crumble. They watch, they learn, and then they rebuild. Stronger, colder, smarter. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." But the modern untouchable? They don't chase fear. They radiate consequence. People feel it. In your presence. In your words. Or your silence. In the way you never need to explain yourself. So here's your final truth. Don't become likable. Become undeniable. Don't be someone they love today and leave tomorrow. Be the one they can't replace, can't predict, can't touch. That's the game. And that's how you win it.